Hello YouTube, it is your boy, B3, back to another kicking graphic novel review. I think I've already done volumes 2 and 4 of this. I'm doing them out of order. I'm sorry. But, Red Lanterns from the New 52. This is volume 1, Blood and Rage. I actually read this single issue for a while, but then I stopped liking it. Even though I'm a huge Red Lantern fan, I didn't like the solo series very much. But then I decided to give it another chance and buy all the trades, because I had all the other New 52 Lantern trades, and I was like, gotta complete the collection, get all the Red Lanterns. And it does get better after Guy Gardner comes into the book as a Red Lantern. It does get much better. But when Atrocitus was the main character, he's just so one-dimensional that it didn't really work. He's so one-dimensional. But yeah, this book takes place after, like, the War of the Green Lanterns and stuff, when Krona's killed. Beginning of the New 52. And has one of my favorite cover arts of all time. Blees with the blood. It's a very simple cover art, but I just love it. I think it's striking. And he decides to make one of his Red Lanterns intelligent to be his lieutenant, because he feels like he's losing his rage and can't control all his feral Red Lanterns. So he makes Blees intelligent, helps her get some more revenge, and then he feels like she's going to betray him, so he makes some others intelligent, but they seem to go to her side, and there's kind of a divide between the Red Lanterns, with those who want to follow Blees and those who want to follow Atrocitus, and it seems like most of them are following Blees. But it also shows the origins of several of the Red Lanterns, and I don't really care what their origins are. And the reason I don't care is because they're all the same. Every Red Lantern has, at its foundation, the same origin story. And it's boring to hear Red Lantern origins over and over again. We get 4 Red Lantern origins in here. 2 of which I think are for the first time. Because we get Atrocitus, Blees, Ratchet, and Scalax all in this book. And it's like, hey, chill. They're all the same story. I like that they didn't outright say Blees was raped, because rape makes me extremely uncomfortable, and I don't like to see it in media. They very, 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 very subtly imply it, and I like that they don't outright say it or show it, because that would make me very uncomfortable, so thank you, Peter Milligan, for that. And then there's also this side story in this book about these human brothers, and one is really angry all the time, and one never gets angry. And it's obvious they want you to think the really angry one is going to become a Red Lantern, but if you know anything about anything, if you've ever read a book before, you know that it's going to be the calm one that becomes the Red Lantern. And of course he does. Of course he does. And then at the end, this villain is introduced on Yazimalt, who's really stupid, and it's a very horrible introduction. And the villain himself is not so great. And the human Red Lantern shows up in the middle of that fight with Atrocitus and the new villain. It's a bad book. Red Lanterns Volume 1, Blood and Rage is a bad book. It's by Peter Milligan, Ed Binns, Rob Hunter. I'll give you a read-up just in case you're still not super clear. Their rage will burn the wicked. The Green Lantern Corps have existed for millennia, using the power of their will to protect the universe. But the Red Lantern Corps, bearers of the Red Rings of Rage, are much newer, and their mission far more destructive. The deadly alien known as Atrocitus formed the Red Lanterns to take revenge on the evil guardian Krona, who was responsible for the death of his family and his world. But now, Krona is dead, and mindless rage is all the Red Lanterns have left. Now in a universe where so many cry out for anger, seeking vengeance, the Red Lantern Corps finds a new purpose, as the instruments of justice and retribution for those who have experienced the same pain that Atrocitus has felt. For that, Atrocitus must give his Red Lanterns back their conscious minds. Can Atrocitus hold on to his control of the Red Lantern Corps, especially when a human from Earth joins their ranks? Feel the fury in this electrifying collection from writer Peter Milligan and artist Ed Binns that brings fresh action to the brand new DC Universe. Runs $14.99 retail. So, in order to give them a solo book, they had to make them anti-heroes. And the idea of the Red Lanterns being anti-heroes is not a bad idea. like, it makes sense. It's a natural progression of their story. You know, once they get their specific revenge, then it's like, what do they have left to do? Help others get that same revenge. So, yeah, the progression to anti-hero feels natural. I feel like the best anti-heroes are the ones that start off as a straight-up villain and then become an anti-hero. Like, Red Hood is my favorite anti-hero. He starts off as a villain, becomes an anti-hero. These guys started off as straight-up villains. Now they're anti-heroes. But I know for a fact that throughout this title, Atrocitus kind of gets back into the villain role and etc. And Guy Gardner kind of becomes the leader of the anti-heroes, which I think is much better. So yeah, I'm glad that change eventually comes. I'm so positive I've already reviewed volumes 2 and 4. I'll do volume 3 very soon. I think I'm just going to read through all my Red Lantern stuff that I haven't reviewed yet, as well as some more Batman stuff and etc. But final thought on Red Lanterns Volume 1 Blood and Rage from DC's The New 52. Yeah, it's not very good. It's really not very good. It's kind of predictable. It jumps forward a lot. The introduction of the villains at the end was terrible. All the origin stories for the Red Lanterns are the same. This isn't a very good book, but it's worth reading if you're a Red Lantern fan, just because Red Lanterns are interesting, and also because it does get better. It does get better. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time when I think we're just going to do Volume 3. I think. Actually, vote on what you want me to do. Vote on what you want me to do. Do you want me to do Red Lanterns Volume 3, The Second Prophecy? I assume you're already interested in Red Lanterns since you're watching this. Batman Arkham Knight Genesis. Blackest Night Rise of the Black Lanterns. These are the ones I have set out to read. A lot of Green Lantern, I know. Or Dark Knight's Metal, Dark Knight's Rising. I know it's all DC stuff, but most of my comics are DC, to be completely honest. I reviewed several Marvel comics recently, however. And I will do more soon. I got some Spider-Man and Gwenpool and stuff and that I need to pull from. But just let me know what you want to see in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.